We are live on the field of 68 Best Bets live stream slash podcast, where it depends on where you're listening to it, I guess. Jeff, I'm going to hit retweet real quick.
Yep.
I'm going to let the viewers kind of build up a little bit, but I think today, no vamping, no freelancing at the top, no joking around. We got to jump right into it, man. We have an unbelievable slate of games. I'm really fired up
Finally.
for today. Great afternoon basketball. We have great basketball this evening.
Yep.
We have a couple upsets to like, a whole bunch of high major matchups. So I think, obviously, we're going to kick things off by talking about the Champions Classic today. I want to start with the first game of the night, Michigan State. They are going to Cameron Indoor Stadium, where there are no Cameron crazies in the stands unless you count the cardboard cutouts. We got Jalen Johnson. We got
But
Matthew Hurts.
wait. They don't have fans, but they're still going to have the whistle.
Yeah,
They're
but
still
how
going to have
much
a
is
good
how
whistle.
much is that whistle going to impact it when you don't have the fans? Like I feel like half of the reason why you get a friendly whistle at a place like Cameron and a
It's
place
because of
like
the
Fog
crazies.
Allen is because
Maybe.
the crazies are screaming
They
at the
still got
referee. Like,
K.
think
K
about it,
or
man.
Izzo.
True.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like more refs are still, when they go into Cameron, right? It's still that feel. I know there aren't the fans, but that's the big one today. I know where you stand. You made it clear yesterday.
Hmm.
You despise this Duke team. You
I
really don't
don't.
like
I
them.
don't. I don't despise them.
You don't like them.
I just very clearly overvalued them, and I think there's like part of the reason why Duke is favored by as much as they are right now is
Yeah.
because they're ranked third on Ken Palm. And so much of these Vegas projections and these Vegas lines early in the
Yes.
season are based on Ken Palm's projections. We're actually going to get into that at a later
I just figured that
line.
out. I just figured that out a couple
I
of days
can't
ago.
believe it's baffling to me that you figured that out like 2 days ago. Like the whole gambling world figured this out like 10 years ago.
Not me.
Not you. Goodman just figured it out. Like that's not a joke, guys. For the
Yeah.
people that are listening, he
The
texted me
other
the
day.
other day. He was like, "Did you realize that the Vegas lines open basically the same as the Ken Palm projections?" Yes, Jeffrey. We all realize that.
All right. Well, anyway. All right. So you like Michigan State +4 here. You don't like it. You
I
love
love it.
it.
It's my favorite bet of the year so far. And I'm not just on Michigan State +4. I have the Michigan State money line. I took this like 5 days ago. No, what's today? Tuesday. Everything's
It came
blended
out
up
early.
together. Yeah. So I took it while I was watching. I watched the Duke Coppin State game on Synergy at like 9 o'clock on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And midway through the first half, I was like, hold on, let me see if this Duke line's here. Let me see if I can get Michigan State right now. And I fired in the middle of the first half of watching them against Coppin State. That's how unimpressed I was by this Duke team. And look,
Michigan State's
Jalen,
older. Rob, the other thing is they're older. Josh Langford's in his like 13th year. Um, even Foster Lawyer, has some experience. Rocket Watts looked good coming off the bench. He looked healthy. Uh, Bingham looked good. His length is going to bother those young Duke guys. I think Duke's going to be okay. But again, coming out of the gates like they have is going to be tough against a veteran Michigan State team that, again, like you said, it's not going to be that crazy environment that teams are used to that give Duke like 3 extra points right off the bat.
yeah, and I don't have to rehash all of my takes on Duke. You can find that on the podcast I did with Deshaun Butler. You can find that on yesterday's live stream that we did on the Field 68 account. So,
You killed them.
um,
You just killed
yeah,
them. I mean, it was
I
it
just
was
it's I don't like teams where there aren't a lot of two-way players and where there's so much
yeah,
difference between your best defensive five and best offensive five. Like Jalen Johnson's an absolute stud. I
a
saw a
beast.
stat the other day. Do you know there's only one other freshman that put up 18 points, 18 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 3 steals in a game as a freshman? Do you know who it was? No, just period in the
Oh,
power
really?
conference. Yeah, the
18,
only other
18?
18, 18, 3 and 3. It was
God.
DeAndre Ayton. He did it for Arizona his freshman year. So Jalen Johnson is doing this in something of like a point forward role. So I
All
just
right, let's
felt
move
that it was
on.
important to mention that.
We,
Yeah,
we,
move
we're
on.
both like Michigan State. That's
Yep.
clear. +4, you
Kansas
like the
minus
money line
five
too.
tonight. Yep,
What do you
Kansas
get the
minus
money
five
line at?
tonight. Plus 150, plus 145, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
It's
me
been
too.
bouncing back and
I
forth
like that
as
too. No, I like that too. I mean, not as much as I liked Richmond against Kentucky, but I like it. Speaking of Kentucky, the big Kentucky Kansas battle comes on after that for the Champions Classic. And You said the line opened at like a pick 'em, didn't you, or something?
Yeah, when I first saw it, it was just a pickup, and now it's all the way moved all the way to Kansas -5. Money line for Kentucky is all the way down to +180. So if you really do like Kentucky, I think there is a little bit of value there.
It's hard to
There's no
like
way.
them. Yeah, it's
No,
hard
there's
to
no
like
way.
them after watching them against Richmond. Now, again, the difference is Kansas isn't quite as experienced as Richmond, but they are experienced. Marcus Garrett is a senior point guard, and Baji's got some experience, and most of their Mitch Lightfoot's 25 years old. It feels like this again. Kentucky, Richmond was a bad one. This isn't as bad, but it is in the sense that it's Kansas. They're more talented, although I know Kansas fans are going to kill me for saying that because they're not as talented as previous Kansas teams, but they are experienced and talented enough that this could be ugly. Could be. I'm not saying it will be, but it has the potential to be ugly.
Yeah, I think they can really get after Kentucky's point guards. The one thing I am concerned about is that Kansas is not all that big. I think if you look up and down
Yeah.
both of these rosters in every matchup except for the point guard spot, Kentucky is going to have a length and athleticism advantage. But I think the only place that shows up is on the offensive glass. And I think I trust guys like Marcus Garrett to play big and Oshai Agbaji to play. They've been playing their whole careers at Kansas. They've had to play bigger
McCormick's
than
going
they
to do something tonight. I know you're down on my David McCormick prediction
okay.
that he's going to have a breakout year. I think tonight is the night, Robert. I think tonight is the night
We'll
David
see.
McCormick establishes himself. They throw it into him, and he starts, going after Olivier Sarr and some of those other bigs.
We'll see about that, Goodman. Let me ask you this: what would the line have to get to you for you to not take Kansas? Like, how many points do you need to take Kentucky?
8, probably 8.
8.
Yeah, probably about
Yeah,
8.
I want to stay away from it, man. I honestly really feel like this is a buy low spot for Kansas. I think what we saw against Gonzaga has
Yeah.
us all feeling down about the Jayhawks. When
No,
in
they're good.
actuality, they're like a top 5 to 10 team. They just happen to
Yes.
run into Gonzaga. And look, a lot of that has to do with my take that Gonzaga is by the end of the year we're going to be putting them in the same conversation as like 2012 Kentucky
Yeah.
and 2015 Kentucky and 2018 Villanova, 2009, or like all of these historically great college basketball teams. So I think that
That's
Kansas
not a
just ran
hot
into a
take at all, by
buzzsaw.
the way. That's not a hot take at all.
Good, good. I'm
I'm
glad
just
that you're on the
kidding.
same page. So
Who
yeah,
cares? No, I'm saying it is. I'm making fun of you. It is a hot take because we're 2 games into the season and you're already deeming them as one of the greatest teams of all time.
yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Shout out to John Mitchell who wants the Rothstein special here. Here we go. This is effing December, baby. It doesn't get better than December
Listen,
basketball.
the day
135th.
Rothstein appears on this show is the day. I hate to say it, maybe the day I die.
Yeah, look, check the text that you just got. We just got a group text to remind you to stop talking about David McCormick so much. So let's move on. We're both on Kansas -5 there.
Tell Barzell
Um,
to shut the hell up.
all right, I want to talk about the afternoon games, and then we can get into a couple of the interesting games tonight. We can roll through these fairly quickly. I think we're
Let's
both
go.
on the same page here. There is no lineup at my book and at the aggregators that I check, like Vegas Insider. I can't find a line for Texas, Indiana, and I can't find a line for North Carolina, Stanford. If anyone watching, just drop a note in the chat if you have a betting line for us. It's not available at the book that I use, but we're going to use the KenPom projections. So right now, Indiana is favored by 1 against Texas, and Stanford is favored by 1 against North Carolina. I like both of the dogs there. I'll probably take the money line for both of them.
I like Indiana. I don't love this Carolina Stanford game. I mean, Stanford looked terrific last night. Zaire Williams might have been the best player in the court. He's going to be a lottery pick, maybe a top 5 pick. I want to see more out of these Carolina freshmen. I do. I mean, I like Garrison Brooks, but I just want to see more out of Caleb Love and some of those other guys. But I am going to go Indiana. Texas struggled against Davidson. Indiana looked great against Providence. Really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Indiana's – I don't know if they're for real, but I think Indiana is a locked tournament team this year. They've got experience. They've got depth. They've got a really good coach in Archie Miller. So I'm going IU there.
Yeah, someone just Alex jumped in the chat and said that Indiana is favored by 1.5. I would still take them there. I wouldn't like it as
Yep.
much, obviously, but I would still take them there. I just think that, especially with the way that Race Thompson played yesterday, like if he can be that kind of
Oof,
like big
boy.
athletic guy, take some pressure off of Trace Jackson Davis, will allow Indiana to match up a little better with like the size and athleticism up front that Texas has. I think you have to like Indiana there. I mean, you bet on the team that has the All American when it comes down to it, right? All
No
right,
doubt.
so
What else you got?
Stanford. Well, I just wanted to put a note on Stanford. I think Stanford is very, very, very good. I don't know how North Carolina is going to score against them. I think Stanford is one of the more underrated defensive teams in college basketball. And add in a guy like Zaire Williams that can get a bucket, add in a guy like Bryce Wills, who was unbelievable
He was
yesterday.
great. Oh, he was great.
Like Oscar da Silva, I think is underrated as a scorer. So it is a little bit. I think Stanford's probably like a top 15 to 20 team this year after seeing them against Alabama. And maybe I'm just overrating them against a bad Alabama team.
Man, I
But
fall for this Alabama shit every year.
yes,
Every
you do.
year. Like you
Yes,
guys
you
need
do.
to tell me no more Alabama, no matter how much talent. Quinterly, I want Quinterly to be Quinterly again. And he's just so loose with the ball. He just frustrates the hell out of me. But I like JQ, everything he's been through. I root for him. And I'm a huge you will not find a bigger Herb Jones fan than on the planet than me. But he needs to score. They just and they don't guard anybody. They don't guard anybody. Pisses me off.
So you're saying you need to tell me to stop betting on Alabama and stop
Yeah.
believing in Alabama. Well, we're trying to do that with David McCormick, and you're not listening to us. But
No, I'm
it
gonna
is
keep.
what it is.
I'm riding. I'm riding Big Mac
Well, there you
tonight.
go. So next time I tell you don't take Alabama,
Tonight's
you're
the
going to say
night.
I'm riding Nate Oates, baby.
That'll
Let's
be it.
go, Javon
If he doesn't
Curley,
come through
Jelly
tonight,
Fam.
yeah. If he doesn't come through tonight, I'm done with David
Yeah.
McCormick. You won't hear. You don't
Okay.
want to hear from me about him again for a while.
All right. Last afternoon game I want to touch on is BYU -4 against USC. That line opened up at I believe it was USC -1. So we've had quite a bit of movement
Yep.
there. I'm staying away. I think that the value's been bet out of the line. But if I was going to be on somebody at this point, it would be BYU. I watched USC's first game. Evan Mobley is a very intriguing prospect. I didn't realize he was as good of a passer as he. Oh,
That's
I,
that's the answer. That's the answer, Robert. Right there. Who are you taking? This is who I'm taking. I'm riding with Mark Pope, baby.
I can't believe you put that up. You weren't supposed to put that up, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Good thing Mark Pope doesn't watch live streams on Twitter. All right,
He
the
may.
last two
He
games I
may
want to talk
tomorrow.
about. Yeah, you might be getting an angry text. If they win, I don't think he's going to care.
He will not care. He will not care.
All right, so the last two games I want to talk about: Oklahoma State +3.5 against Marquette. I think I have to be on Oklahoma State there. I don't trust them
You have a
defensively, and
feel? Yeah, I got no
I,
feel. I mean, you're just riding with Cade. That's all. Just admit it. You're
mhm,
just riding with Cade here.
I would probably take the money line in that spot too, just get a little bit of extra value. I also I don't I don't trust Marquette. I
Valid.
fell for like the Marcus Howard love. Like I loved Marcus Howard. I fell for it too much last year, and now that they don't have Marcus Howard, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, is
How are
Kobe
they going to
McEwen that
score?
guy?
Yeah.
I don't think that DJ Carton's that guy. Samir Torrance, like we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't buy into
In
Marquette. So
Cade, you trust. I get it.
in,
I
K-
get it. I'm the
in,
same
in,
way.
in Cade, I trust. And the last line that I want to talk about is actually, I think the most interesting line here is Louisville -4 against Western Kentucky.
Some places they're 6.5 right now. How about that? I'll take the points. Give me 6.5 with Charles Bassey and Slick Rick. How do you not take that? When Louisville's so banged up, I don't know if Samuel Williamson is going to play tonight. I'll find that out here soon. But ultimately, yeah, I just think Louisville is so thin right now. And Western Kentucky's pretty good. Hollingsworth and Bassey are two guys that can play
Well,
anywhere.
Hollingsworth is also a game time decision.
Yeah.
He hurt his thumb. I don't know if he's going to play. So it's tough to really like make a pick there. But if we're assuming that Williamson plays and we're assuming that Hollingsworth plays, I think I like Louisville at -4. At 6.5 is a different conversation. But at Louisville -4, I just really think that this team is a little bit undervalued and underrated right now. I love their backcourt of Carlik Jones and David Johnson. I don't know if there's a better backcourt. I don't know if there's 5 better backcourts in the country than Carly Jones
Thank
and
you.
David Johnson.
Good thing you didn't say I don't know if there's a better backcourt in the country. That was better.
Yeah, I caught myself.
Yes.
It's early. I
Good
haven't finished my cup of coffee yet. But it's just the way that they can both kind of play on the ball, off the ball. I think David Johnson has improved the shooting. Like one thing really stood out to me um, in the Seton Hall game. It was a possession with like under a minute left, and David Johnson, who's like the whole knock on him last year was he can't shoot. I think Louisville was up by 1. He had Sandro on him, Mamu, and instead of going to the basket and beat him off the dribble, he like dribbled into a 3 from the wing. And Chris Mack was not pissed about the shot. And I think that Chris Mack not being mad about David Johnson shooting that shot in that spot should tell you that David Johnson has become a better shooter. Maybe he's seen something in practice. Maybe he trusts the guy to be able to make that shot. So if David Johnson is making threes and you can play him on the ball or off the ball, and Carly on the ball or off the ball with the ability those two have in ball screens, they're tough, man. They're real tough. And Dre Davis is a monster. I really like that kid. The freshman they got.
I got 2 more before we wrap, and then we got to recap because you've made a lot of sort of picks. Like we need to hold you accountable. We're starting to track it.
I'll tell you what my picks are. I'll tell you
what my picks are after. My final 2, Toledo giving 9.5 to Cleveland State. Cleveland State coming out of quarantine recently. Again, I like those picks. I'm so upset that UCLA Long Beach got scrapped last night. I honestly, that was my pick of the day. I also like St. Mary's giving 12.5 to Nicholls State. Nicholls State kind of hung with Cal a little bit. I think St. Mary's is better than Cal. And St. Mary's is so tough to play against because of Randy's system and his style. And so those are 2 more. So, all right, recap your picks now. Recap.
I have Michigan State +4. I'll probably be on the money line there. I have Kansas -5. I took both Indiana and Stanford. For Stanford, if both of them are getting points, I'll be on the money line for them. I'm not sure what the lines are. Again, those aren't out of the books that I use. I'm not taking BYU or USC. If I was forced to pick, I would take BYU, but I'm not. I will not be betting there. I like Oklahoma State, and then I like Louisville. But I'm not gonna I will not be betting on that game until I get an answer on the health of Hollingsworth and the health of Williams.
So you got 5 games: Michigan State, Kansas, IU, Stanford, Oklahoma State. All right, I got Michigan State also. I got Kansas also. I got BYU -4. I got Indiana, whatever it's going to be, given a point to whatever, and I got Western Kentucky. I like getting the points there. Let's call it 5 right now, whatever it ends up at. And then Toledo laying the points, St. Mary's laying the points. So that's 7. I'm hoping for a 5-2 night tonight.
You need one, man. It's been a while since you had a 5-2 night.
The first night. After that, it's been all downhill for me. So, all right. Well, listen, wrap it up, Robert. Wrap it up.
Nashville Invitational Fever, baby. Great college hoops tipping off at 1:30 this afternoon. Then we get the Champions Classic tonight. This is perfect winter basketball, perfect December basketball. This is the kind of stuff that we were supposed to be getting 3 weeks ago. It's finally here. It finally feels like college basketball team. Home field apparel. I don't have the shirt on right now. I got I had to wash it. I wore it like 5 of the last 6 days. Well, I wore it 5 out of 6 days. At some point, I got to wash the shirt.
Your wife was telling you had to wash it.
Yeah, she called me musty. So as soon as she said musty, I was like, yeah, it's probably time.
Musty for you.
Time.
Listen,
I've
to wash
smelled
you musty. You were probably way beyond musty.
Yeah, pretty much. Homefieldapparel.com. Use the promo code FIELD of 68 to get 20% off your first purchase.